actually had known each other through our church that we attended, but I'd really never thought about girls, I guess, until I was getting up into my teens, and she appeared to be someone that I was attracted to. I was too bashful to ask her out, and so I had a cousin that lived close by, and he assisted in that effort. And so anyway, we went to Habron Lake, which was a Sunday school party, and on the way, the brakes went out on my car, and we went ahead and drove on to the lake from that point. I told the Sunday school teacher exactly what had happened, and I didn't have any brakes. He told me not to worry about it, that we'd take care of it when we left. So we had the wiener roast, hot dogs, and so forth, and then we left, and he told me to just follow and not get too far back from him. But if I got into trouble, just run into the back of him. So he led me then on what was the Turner Turnpike that was under construction at that time, and it was only a dirt surface that the bridges were in. And so we went to my home from that point on the turnpike and got off close to my home, got to my house. We all got out of the car. I went to my father and told him what had happened, and he gave me the keys to his car. I took everybody home, and from that point, Donna and I pretty much were together, pretty much inseparable. There was just a realization after we were together so much that this is the woman that I wanted to be with for the rest of my life. I'm sure we were trying to think about getting married and all the thoughts that surrounded that and what our future was going to look like. But she just come back from the doctor's office and was telling me that she had found out that she couldn't have any children, and told me that if I wanted to get out of the marriage, that I could do so at that time. I told her I was in love with her. It didn't matter to me if we couldn't have children. And she seemed very upset when she told me that. And I told her that I was in love with her, and that it didn't matter to me if we couldn't have children, that I wanted to marry her anyway. She seemed to accept the condition and wasn't really, I think she was relieved that I wasn't upset about it. I was sensitive to her feelings when she told me that. And so, but I was so much in love with her that I didn't want her to feel bad about that. And so I just accepted the fact that we wouldn't be able to have children. And that's what we expected when we got married. But there had been prayers going up. There was a group of ladies in an organization called the Ladies Missionary Council, I believe is what it was called. They began to pray that she would get pregnant. And it was through the prayers, we believe it was through the prayers of those ladies and our prayers as well that she was able to get pregnant. Lo and behold, on November 22nd, 1956, Beth Ann was born. Donna was told at that time that she couldn't have any more children. 6 years later, our second child was born, which was Becky. 6 years after that, our third child was born, which was Susan. Beth Ann's birth occurred on Thanksgiving Day. That year, it interrupted family get-togethers for Donna's family and for my family. So there was a lot of joy that occurred within the family because of what God did for us in our lives. I was reminded of this recently as we had Thanksgiving at our home. We can still have joy with having all of our family together. And we've had times where we spent times at the lake. We've been out boating and had all kinds of things that we did together. And it was because we had all of that family together when it didn't look like we would ever be able to have kids to begin with. So there's feelings that come back thinking about all that God has done for me in my life. Although I don't have Donna with me at this time. She passed away with cancer about 12 years ago. I still have all my kids, all my children, all my grandkids, and now even great-grandkids. So there's a lot of joy in my life. As I look back on my life, and I'm 86 years old now, there's been troubling times that have occurred in my life. And I could go into those, but that's not the purpose that I'm witnessing. I'm witnessing what God has done through the family and all these things that have occurred. You know, there's an overwhelming blessing that I'm experiencing now as I get into later years of my life. And there's joy that comes when I see all my family together, like has just occurred this last Thanksgiving. And there's a lot that comes about that a lot of times we don't think about, but we should think about. So I would just encourage you, if you don't know Jesus and you haven't accepted Jesus into your life, I would encourage you to do that immediately. You'll never be sorry for what you did, because there's so much joy in being a Christian. So anyway, I just want everyone that's hearing my voice to understand that if you're going through hard times, you know, there's going to be a day when things will turn around. If you believe in God and you trust in God and you have people around you that are praying as well, there's going to be a day when those times will be better, as it has been with me.